Hi, Martin here. Today I want to show you some video I shot over 5 years ago, and there was some interest in how I installed this hood scoop. Well, I never put the video out, so with that interest that people have asked me about how to do this, I pulled the video out of the archives, put it together, and this is what I've got. Hi, Martin here. Today we're going to install a hood scoop on our 99 through 04 Jeep Grand Cherokee. I got this one from musclecar.com, which is a Mustang website. This is meant to fit a 05 through 09 Mustang. And I've gone through, this is my fourth hood scoop before I'm finally decided, yeah, this is the one for me. I've sold a couple of them already and got one left yet to sell. So, I mean, I wish I'd found this one first, right? So, it lays on here pretty nice. I didn't have to do much modifications as far as to the scoop itself. It lays on there pretty good. The Mustang hood scoop has a little bit more of a concave shape to it, a little bit more rounder than the Cherokee one is. It's a little bit flatter. So right in like this area here, you can see a little bit of light through here, but when I'm done, this is going to lay on here just as flat as like it's meant to fit on this hood scoop, or on this hood. It comes with this grill insert that goes right in here. And I've had to make a few modifications to it as well, which I'll show you coming up here in a few minutes. All right, well, let's get started. All right, now a few things. This is, you got the temp plate here for the hood scoop. A couple things I wanted to do just to make this easier. I took a ruler and then transferred, this is one of the holes that they mark out for the hood scoop. So I just transferred this line off to the edge on both sides, and then I also did it on the back going clear out. Now this piece of paper is way bigger because it's designed for the Mustang hood, which has the cutouts for the wiper nozzles here. So they want you to use that for as the center, this hood scoop. We don't have that, so we're going to go by the center line of the template, and then using these lines out here to help mark us for the holes that need to be made. Alright, and then I'm going to also cut, I made kind of a light line going around here. I'm going to cut this template down because I don't want all of this. I got to have it end close to the edge of the hood so I can mark the center. Okay, we got the bottom side of the hood here, and what I'm trying to do is figure out how far with these clip studs, place them on here, and then see how far those are going to be inward or from the edge of the hood. And it looks like we're looking at right at a hair over 7/8 of an inch. And these are the ones on the side of the hood scoop. These are right at 3/4 of an inch. Now, with that information, this being the rear one, I'm going to mark this right there. That's the edge of the hood. And this being the side one here, it was 3/4. And then do that to the other side as well. Now when you place your hood scoop on here, you line up these marks that we've made right there with all 4 points. Alright, now I've gone ahead and marked the center of the hood. Use some blue tape, and see my pencil marks. I'm going by just the edge of that right there on both sides. Divide it in two, find the center. Right, like so. I did this up here as well. Couple pencil marks. This one here's the center. Now with the modifications I've done to the template here, and I got the center line, the template, center line here on the hood, the line that I've traced when laying the hood scoop on here at the proper location and cutting it back. This is the edge of the hood scoop technically. We'll bring that right there to the center. Okay, you can see here we got it all taped down, all 4 corners here. At this point, we're ready to use a center punch to mark the 4 holes. Now directions say to use a 1/4 inch bit after doing that. Personally, I like to start a little bit smaller and do like a pilot bit, then work up to the 1/4 inch one. I got, I don't know, like a 1/8, maybe a 3/16 right there, something smaller. Now I don't have to worry about hitting anything below, because I already know underneath here I'm going into a reinforcement channel underneath here. Here. Okay, we got the 4 holes drilled. Go ahead and remove this tape. And at this point, now you could drill them out to the 1/4 inch. Now on these 2 front ones, I've gone ahead and drilled it out, but now I'm hitting the support underneath the hood. Okay, just carefully, I just went through. Here I can show you right where I came through on both of those right there. And oh, by the way, of course you have to remove your insulation from underneath the hood. Now the 2 rear ones back here, they're going to be just a little bit trickier because I think they're on this slope. I think they end up back here. Hopefully they're more under this flat spot. That'll make it easier. I do have the hood lifted up to the safety latch height just to give it a little bit more clearance underneath there. And when you're drilling, don't apply too much pressure because you don't want to just all of a sudden suddenly come through the hood and hit anything that's vital down below. Yeah, actually I think that's on that flat spot, feels like. That's good. Alright, let's see where those came through. They came right on the edge, pretty much. That's alright. Now we're going to have to enlarge these holes, of course, to get any kind of screw or nut in there. Okay, I've got a uni-bit here. You can actually get these relatively cheap at Harbor Freight. Get a set of 3 of them for like 15, 16 bucks. Be careful how far you go deep into this. We don't want to hit the hood up here. You could use a wider one. I'm going to open it up a little bit with this one and then go to this one and get a wider hole. I mean, we just need it big enough that we could easily get a nut or a screw up there, whichever we're going to use. I've got some towels laid down here to catch the metal shavings. Just like that. Now on these, I'm going to do something similar to that, but I got to be really careful because I don't have the distance between here and the hood like I do down on these. So I'll probably go to this one almost right away so I can widen it up before hitting that upper surface, the outer skin of the hood. We don't want to do that. Okay, on those particular ones, you can see that you're really close to the edge of this skin here, and to widen that up some, I mean, I do want to widen that up some more. I'm going to probably have to use like a Dremel and just cut this part of it out a little bit further. Now what I'm doing here is I just grabbed a drill bit, and I'm just going to carefully when you enlarge those, do a little bit at a time if you do it like I just did. Don't grab a real big drill bit because it's going to really grab an edge, and I'll show you right here. See here, I grabbed a drill bit that's a little bigger, how it did that to the edge. I'm just going to take a Dremel and file that down. But now I got a pretty good shot at getting a nut or the screw in there. Okay, here's some of the mods that I've had to do to the grill insert for the hood scoop. You have to imagine there was a piece of plastic going across here that laid flat against the bottom of the hood. Because of the concave of the Mustang hood, when you laid this on the Cherokee hood, there was a gap between the bottom of the plastic and the hood. So, it didn't look right. And then there was also another center post right here. And I cut all that away, so now we don't have to worry about, this bottom piece at all. And all I got to do is these two pieces don't touch the bottom of the hood, is extend those. And what I did, the center post that I cut out here, I used a piece of it. I cut it in two. So I have two pieces here. I can add on to these, by gluing them on, sanding it down, and I'll have to also lengthen it first to the proper length. Now, on how to cut, I used a Dremel with a cutoff wheel on it to do most of this cutting. This particular center post, I did use a hacksaw blade to cut it off. And then you want to be careful when doing that how close you get when you're using a hacksaw blade. So I did leave a couple little etch marks in there. You won't see this bottom side anyway, but again, be careful. And then use a 220 grit sandpaper to sand it down, then 400. Okay, here's one of those pieces of plastic, and I still got to get rid of probably 1/8 of an inch. And I'm just gonna, you'd be surprised how fast like this 220 grit sandpaper will take it down. And all I'm doing is just going back and forth like this, trying to keep an even pressure. And wear that down. And then I just keep test fitting this piece. Alright, with the insert just laying up here on the hood, you know, approximately in the center where it's going to be. I got it taped here to the hood. Right there you can see a little piece that I've added. I mean, it's just sitting in there. So what I'm looking for is where the hood, where this piece lays nice and flat against the hood, and where that just fills up the gap. As you can see over here, there's our gap. That's what you'd have if you didn't have that piece in there. So, with the extra piece that I'm working on, so right there, now I need to file that one down so it fits like that one. And then once we get that, I will glue these two pieces on there and do some sanding and stuff to make it look like the rest of the post. Now with those pieces made, we gotta fasten them here. I'm gonna adhere them with a 2-part epoxy. Just by, you know, putting epoxy on here and putting it on here, I don't feel that comfortable, you know, that it's a good solid connection, especially with plastic. So what I'm going to do is, I got a very small, super small tip here. I am going to basically drill a hole into here, here, and through these pieces. So when we put the epoxy on here and put this on here, it's squeezing the epoxy into those holes and into the holes here and making it a very firm connection. Okay? Okay, now we clearly have the holes drilled through here and a couple into here, so that epoxy go into those holes and help, you know, stiffen this whole thing up. Not like this is going to be under any load, but you don't want it to just fall off. And that'll also help, you know, when you start sanding on here and putting pressure on it and all that kind of stuff, you know it's going to stay there. Okay, I'll get the next one ready and then we'll glue these on. Okay, I mixed up a small amount of 2-part epoxy. And all I'm trying to do right now is just want to get these two halves together. This stuff gives you about 5 minutes to work with. It's not particularly great for sanding. That I've used it before, and it's pretty good. If you got any excess, may as well wipe that off of there too. It'll just reduce the amount of sanding you got to do. Okay, now with the epoxy all set up, we can start just sanding the edges and getting rid of the excess epoxy. And blending it all together. And then we'll see where we need to add any excess, any other fillers to fill in the cracks and blend this all together. Okay, after sanding this for a little while, it's nice and smooth right here. We got everything, all the epoxy smoothed down. And I had just one little divot in here, just tiny, and I'll fill that in and sand it again. The other one over here, on the other hand, I kind of messed it up a little bit, but you can see like a little chunk missing out of there. I'll have to fill that in with some epoxy and sand it down. And I got some little divots on the side here as well that I got to fill in. And then we'll sand it all down and get ready for paint. My daughter being silly. Okay, now I got everything, filled in, like that one that I kind of messed up with. I got that filled in, all sanded down. Shoot a little primer on this. I'm probably going to go ahead and just give it a light sand, shoot a little primer on this, a plastic primer that's made for this to help adhere the paint. I washed this piece with a simple green to get any of the mold release gel off of it. And then I gave it a sand with some 400 and some 600 grit sandpaper. And now I'm going to clean it up again with the simple green, rinse it off, let it dry. And now what I'm going to hit it with is this PlaxiClean. It's like like for a glass cleaner for plexiglass, but it has the anti-static formula, and that's going to keep dust from attracting this to this piece. So I hit it with that, and then wipe it off, and we'll let it dry, and then hit it with the primer that I've got right here. It's a automotive primer, adhesion promoter. And this is for use on for plastic. Okay, we got the 4 holes drilled. Now they have what they call a stud clip, and you slide those on there. There's 4 locations, of course, that's why we drilled 4 holes, and they slide right on there like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and test fit this. Okay, that's good there. All right. Okay, now here's the insert. Just slide that in here for now. Pretty badass. Okay, it's turning out pretty good. Personally, I think I wish I would have went back with the hood scoop maybe another 1/4 of an inch, because I just barely kind of see those divots starting to show from the shape of the hood. What I might do is add another fastener back here, which I was also going to do right here in the middle of the scoop. I'm going to get some clip nuts, and I'll probably end up drilling, well, it looks like 1, 2, possibly 3 more holes. I'd really like to fasten this hood down without using any 3M tape, which is supplied with the hood scoop. I'd like to be able to remove it if I want to, for whatever reason. Now I was saying I wanted to add another screw hole, another securing point. I'm probably going to use what they call a clip nut. This piece of tape is right at the edge of the hood scoop. I'm going back 6 inches from the front hole to right here. I made a mark. Now I'm going to come in 1/2 inch and drill a hole on both sides. Okay, I've gone ahead and temporarily bolted the hood scoop on, and you look through there, you may be able to see a little bit of light. It's back there in the middle on each side, and the very back in the middle. So that's why we had and drill these other holes. So what I'm going to do is take a drill bit and mark those spots. I'm not going to drill clear through the plastic. All I'm going to do right now is just put a mark on it with the drill bit on the 3 locations. That would be the one there, there you can see the nuts that are on there for the rear ones, and these are the front locations. Alright, and we just install that screw. I'm just being kind of gentle because it is just plastic I'm fastening into. We're just tightening that just enough to draw the hood scoop down to the sheet metal of the hood. Which it definitely did. It did a nice job. Both sides looking real good. Now I just got to get the one in the back. Okay, we got the hood scoop on there. Everything's fitting really nice. Now I'm going to take it back off, install the grill insert, put it back on, and we're done. Alright, the hood scoop comes with all these pre-cut 3M double-sided tape with it. And each one is made for a specific part of the hood scoop. Well, a lot of them we're not using. In fact, we're only going to use these 4 right here. And they are applied in these 4 spots. So they give you some alcohol wipes to prep the area. So go ahead and clean the area that it's going to be stuck to. And apply each one. And don't stretch the tape any as you're laying it down. Okay, with those 4 installed, now you can remove that there. This stuff is really sticky, so be careful when you're putting it in. you are putting it where you want it, because it does not like to come back up again. Now before we install the hood, all these holes that we got drilled here, we want to get some touch-up paint and especially hit that bare metal, because we don't want any rust starting here. And then also for underneath here, like these areas here that drilled out, and I did use a Dremel tool here to get rid of all the sharp edges with a stone. So you want to paint all this to prevent any rust. Alright, when we're setting the hood down, line up the rear studs first. Bring it on down. There. Now we can raise the hood. Get all these fasteners installed. I'm just going to barely put them in snug for now.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Found it helpful and informative, and if you did, I sure appreciate the thumbs up. That helps out the channel immensely. And I'm also an Amazon affiliate. Please check out the links down below in the description to products and tools I may have used in the video. And you can do all your Amazon shopping through one of those links, and that helps out the channel financially. I sure appreciate that. And if you've never subscribed to me before, please hit that subscribe button right down there somewhere, and that little bell symbol right next to it. And that way you get notified the next time I upload a video. Alright, I want to thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.